brothers, and welcome to another episode of Bones of the Story. We are doing our season 6 finale, where we do the if you like this, then you should read that of the last 3 seasons of books that we've read. And Jen and I have compiled a list, our separate lists. You want to go first, Jen?
Might want to do the first one.
Yeah, I would say in no particular order, and we can just toggle back and forth.
Okay. All right. Perfect. All right. So, in no particular order, I I wrote this down before we were. Actually, hold on a second. I didn't think about that until just now. Fuck me.
You thought of another idea or another one?
No, I just did the wrong one. Okay, so if you enjoyed Yeah, okay, that'll work. Okay. If you enjoyed Bride, if you liked Bride by Allie Hazelwood, then for a completely different kind of look, but it's still fantasy, I would recommend The Unfated Saga Duology by Danielle L. Jensen. Mostly because it's a marriage of it's like a forced marriage in both situations. And it's pretty much the only link between the two.
Well, you're talking about A Fate of Ink and Bone, right?
Yeah, a fate inked in blood and a curse carved in bone.
Is that also not like some kind of mythology as well?
Yeah.
So it could be
Mm-hmm.
a parallel, not a parallel, a paranormal connection.
Yeah. Yeah, there's magic and weirdness and I don't know. It was phenomenal. It was phenomenal.
Okay. Whew. I don't even know which one to start with. Hmm. Okay, I'm going to do it this one. So if you liked or wanted something better than Devourer of Men by Nikki St. Crow, there's a
Uh-huh.
trilogy. First book is called The Hidden Fallings. It's by Kelly Cove. It is also kind of set in a different world where there's magic and like okay, I really hated Devourer of Men. And like a hierarchy system that's not really good that they're trying to change, but the biggest connection besides some of the little things is that in both series the men have wronged their main female character and then they're trying to make it up. And I feel like the Hidden
Mm.
Fallen trilogy, it's one guy, one female, so it's not an MFM, but he does a really good job of redeeming himself. And I think it was just way better written than Devourer
Well,
of Men for sure.
that was a low bar, so
And it's a completed series, so it's all out, so you don't have to wait for anything.
that's definitely my favorite.
Okay.
Okay, so my Devourer of Men improvement. In fairness, I have not finished the second book yet because it's not on audio yet. But the first book was phenomenal, and that is Secrets of Jane by Charlotte Mallory. Pretty much, it's not an MFM either, or an MMF. It's MF, and he is what is called a zenith, but they're basically a step above a pirate. So like they're pirates, but they're like really badass magical pirates.
Hmm.
And when you go into the second book, like she has been hidden away for years and doesn't quite know why. She just knows that her dad died trying to protect her and her mom. But then the Zenith Society finds out that she does actually exist and they hunt her down and it's a whole thing and it's
Okay.
very hot.
So I didn't mention that in the Hidden Falling, she's been hiding as well. So they're shapeshifters.
Oh, how funny.
Yeah, she's hidden and created like a safe haven for other shapeshifters who have gone against. I don't remember what the hierarchy's name, but they end
Right.
up finding out about her because there's something they need something from her because if I remember correctly, they were doing experiments and she was like locked up for quite a few years as a young child.
Oh dang.
And then she escaped. So that's interesting. When you sent me the Forgotten one, I didn't
Mhm.
see or catch any of that at all in the description. So
Yeah.
another reason why blurbs can kind of suck.
Yeah.
Blurbs
Definitely.
don't always hit it right. Okay. I am going to go with Beautiful Fiend.
Ugh. Did you actually finish that one? Because I don't
I
think I ever
did.
finished.
No, you did.
Oh.
You did finish it. You were waiting on me to finish it. It took me like 6
Oh, that's
months. You
right.
that's the one that you kept on telling me, "Miss, you gotta get to it at the end. You gotta get to the end. There's things we need to talk about." And so I pushed through.
Don't even remember what happened.
So my suggestion for that is Priest and His Antichrist by Amo Jones. So if you're talking about people that are on two sides of a spectrum, so to speak, and Priest and
Yeah.
His Antichrist, they're not gangs or at war. They're two separate secret societies that they know of each other and they have a tentative allyship,
True.
I guess you could say, but they're not really like they're they do pretty good together. And so Priest and His Antichrist is about the son from one side and the daughter of the other. And we're talking like they're like I said, they're not gangs, but like the high society parents and it's their kids, right? So it's got that it's got that same vibe of those two sides, but it also has the he hates her because he doesn't it takes him a while to realize that he wants her. And so he does some really fucked up things to her. And it's Amo Jones, like, yeah, so I don't know if that
That
helps
sounds
anybody, but
that sounds about right for Beautiful Fiend to something else.
so that would be my the only problem with Priest and His Antichrist is while technically you could read it as a standalone because it's about Priest and I think her name's Luna, if I remember correctly. It's their story, but it's the second generation of the secret society. So you would potentially have to read the first to get the full history of the secret society. You would have to read Priestess parents and all of his friends, which is about 7 books, and then you would have to read Luna's parents and the part of their society, which is 4 books. If you wanted the full history. If you don't care about the full history, then and Priest and His Antichrist is the second book in the second generation series. You could totally skip the first book. I hated the first book. Probably shouldn't say that out loud because Alma is like one of my top favorite authors, but I was very displeased with the first one. But Priest and His Antichrist wasn't too bad. So that's my next one. Okay. So second one. Your turn.
Okay, so if you liked Lights Out and are looking for a less brutal version, but still something that's very, very funny and still has like killers in it, then I highly recommend It Had to Be You by Eliza Jane Brazier. I just accidentally stumbled on this in Libby when I was looking for a book to read, and it was so much fun. I think I sent Misty like 7 or 8 one-liners throughout the book because they were
Oh,
so
is
funny.
that book?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep, it was a lot of fun. It wasn't nearly as brutal, not like super super spicy. It was actually a like 4-hour podcast. It's pretty tame, but it was a lot of fun. It was cute.
Okay.
So if you need a light contract killer read, that's it.
Are you sure that's Lights Out and not Sinner's Retreat?
Nah, whichever. I mean, you know, whatever.
Was the
It could
audio
be either.
good?
Yeah. Yeah, I enjoyed the audio.
Okay. I'll have to listen to that. Okay, so my next one is Sinner's Retreat. But I went the complete opposite way of Jen. I didn't go lighter, I went darker.
Of course you did.
So if you like Sinner's Retreat or wanted something that focused more on the serial killers and not necessarily all of the killing, I suggest Marrow by Bryn Reaver and Trisha Wolfe. And so it's kind
Wait,
of the
you
same.
read
Yeah, I read that.
that? I need to read it.
Yeah.
I didn't
That's
realize
why
you'd read it already.
yeah, that's why I gifted it to you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So it's essentially the same thing. It's you have two serial killers who well, maybe it's not the same. But the similarities are there's two serial killers, a male and a female, and she has been looking for him because he ended up saving her from being killed by another serial killer. And that essentially turned her into a serial killer. And they end up being professors at the same university. And it takes him a while to, well, let's just say they have a lot of fun with each other doing some crazy things. And it's pretty good, but it's not as gory and it's not the storyline was a lot better. But it's also darker. I feel like it's darker than Sinner's Retreat. There's not a lot of things to laugh about.
Hmm.
I'm trying not to pull too much so you'll read it, Jen.
Oh no, I was planning to read that anyway. I love Grim
Yeah.
Reaper. So
It was really good. Okay.
I'm trying to see if there's an audio.
I don't think there is, or at least there wasn't last year or earlier this. Yeah.
Boo.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm not finding one.
You would have to read it.
Fine. Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Sorry, I got distracted. Final book for the Bridge Kingdom series is coming out. And
Oh,
I
she has
haven't
the
read the
release date.
Yeah, it's coming out in October. Like on
Oh,
Audible, that's how they release for the first 6 months. And I haven't read the fifth book yet, so I'll have to
I haven't read anything past the first duet.
I'll let you know if you should continue.
Okay.
But I was obsessed with the first two books.
I love the first two books. That's why I haven't read the rest of the series.
Yeah, yeah. The next two I wasn't as enthused about,
Okay.
but everyone
All right.
else loved them, so whatever.
Your
Okay,
turn.
so if you enjoyed Love and Other Conspiracies, there's really no connection. It's just a really sweet story. I recommend Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. It has been my number one romance read this year, and I immediately restarted it after I finished it, which I have. The only other book I've ever done that with is Akatar. So it was, I mean, really the only like connection between the two things, because they're scientists and not in love, so they're not like conspiracy theorists at all, but like one of the characters is very very quiet, very shy, like just really hard to come out of her shell and that kind of thing, and the guy is just so incredibly patient with her, and I feel like that was kind of the relationship in Loving and Other Conspiracies too.
I love it. So, my next one is Love and Other Conspiracies. And actually, the book that
Oh,
I suggest is Maggie Moves On by Lucy Score.
I love it.
Yes. So Maggie Moves On. It's a reality show about fixing up homes. And she goes to this town. And it's kind of like the same thing, like what Jen was saying. It's like the female is like hesitant to be in a relationship coming off of whatever their path is. But not the dude, the main male character is very patient and is willing to wait for her and to like be there to support, and I definitely recommend the audiobook for sure because the narrators make the story really come to life versus reading the book. But I think it's super cute and it definitely has a lot of parallels. So that's mine.
Yeah, love it. Okay, so for if you liked Haunting Adeline, and it's funny because it's another book from a different season, but I would read Driving My Obsession. It's a bit darker, I think, than, well, maybe not, but it's still a stalker. He still kidnaps her, and I loved that book. And I did not care for a Haunting Adeline.
I think I was going to try and come up with one for that one too, but I got distracted, I think. Okay, so I'm going to go with Meet at Midnight if you want something that's way better.
Please, please, please.
Depraved by AJ Merlin. So it is essentially he's the stalker serial killer. She is not, but she does end up helping him kill somebody at the end.
Hmm.
And there's also a kind of group of friends who are serial killers. And so each book in that series is about one of the group of friends in there. So it kind of still has that same feel of it's just so much better than Meet at Midnight. I just can't express how much better. I mean, it's not like 10 times better, but like it's just better. If you're looking for that vibe of community of serial killers who, you know, come together but also go and do their own thing and they find their love interest and their love interest just happen to be like, I'm okay accepting you're crazy. I think another thing that you're going to like about it is that he's a masked stalker. Yeah,
Yes, please.
and it's kind of cliche, so it's not at it's not at a carnival or amusement park, whatever, but she does live on a campsite, and she's one of the, I guess, camp residents who like help like check people in and like make sure, and she's been there for a while. So it still kind of has that cliche horror setting, but and it's not as what's the word? It's clearly written, like, you can see the storyline very clearly. You're not gonna get confused by some of the stuff or how things happen or why they do things, and they for sure as fuck actually have sex on the page, so
That's
I
funny.
don't know if that helps you or
And
not, but
also not available on audio. You're killing me.
sorry. I mean, I skipped a lot of the sex scenes like I normally do, but I do know that there is actual sex on the page, so yep, your turn.
All right. So for my final one, if you liked Crash, which I did, then I recommend Make Me Yours by Melanie Harlow. I read this book years ago, but for whatever reason, it has stuck in my brain. So I'm assuming it's just probably really good spice. And I'm pretty sure it was best friend's little sister trope, and he was a single dad. Maybe it was a different one. Anyway, that's the one I recommend. I think it was cute.
Okay, so I will also do Crash, but I have 2 suggestions for Crash. So the first one is Outlier by Susie Tate, and that has the best friend's little sister plot point. And there is this we can't be together. One likes they both like each other, but one is willing to like step past that boundary of we can't be together. And I'm not going to give you the reason why they can't be together, but there's 2 reasons. And there's 2 potential reasons. So it's not necessarily the big brother has set a rule. It's a couple of other things. And so I picked that one again because there's a lot of similarities of the best friend little sister. The second one that I have for this is called Doctored Vows by Shady Boys. And the reason why I picked this one, it's not a best friend's little sister, but it's about the roles are reversed. The female is the doctor essentially, and the male is not. He's actually the head of the brata. But it's his mom who's being poisoned, and the doctor is the one who figures it out. And so it's kind of got that same parallels, and like he doesn't want to be with her because he was told by some of the other medical professions that it was actually her that was poisoning him and trying or poisoning his mom and like try it's this whole it's a whole there's a whole conspiracy with this hospital that they're doing shady shit that his mom ended up going to because she was fine when she went in and she wasn't fine when he got there, and they didn't realize who she was until he got there. And so they were trying to put the blame on somebody else. So that's why I
Mm-hmm.
recommended that one because it has that medical content and I like that the roles were reversed. I'm not saying it was the
Yeah.
best series. I mean, I did finish it. Actually, I think I read quite a lot in that world. But it's not the best, but I read all of them, right? Like
Right.
I don't know why that made me giggle so hard or chuckle. Oh, this is the life of a reader. That's not the best, but I'm just gonna go to the next one, and then I'm gonna go to the next one. And the next thing you know, you're like 7 in, and the series is over, and you're like, well, fuck, I just read all of them. So there must have been something about it. So
Yeah.
those are my 2 for Crash. And do you have
Okay,
any honorary mentions?
so I have one more
Oh, yay!
that came to me while we were doing this. So I don't want to say if you liked Consequences because it was
Hopefully you didn't.
I went on an almost hour-long rant about that book, so I don't think I need to explain any further. But if you want a morally gray version that has a happy ending, then I highly recommend Dirty Ugly Toy by Kay Webster.
Okay.
I loved that book.
I know you did. I'm still at 27% of the
It's a
book.
DNF for you, and that's fine.
I may get to it. Who knows? Okay.
So,
I have 2 for Consequences, actually.
oh my god, that's funny.
I couldn't. Okay, so technically I had 1, but then I was like, this could also work. So my first recommendation for something way better than Consequences is Corrupt by Penelope Douglas. If you want that revenge aspect of thinking that I don't shake your head at Penelope Douglas. Okay. Mm. I'm gonna turn you around. I'm gonna turn you around. Doesn't have to be that series, but that's fine. Anyways, if you want that where the guy wants to get revenge for something that he thinks was wronged by the main female character, Corrupt is a good one to do it. I will say though it has a better ending and it doesn't take 7 million books for them to realize that, oh, maybe we shouldn't blame her for something and actually get together in the first book. I do have to say though, as much as I love Penelope Douglas, the first couple in the first book, so it's the Devil's Knights series, and the first book is about Michael and Rika, and those are my least 2 favorite characters. But it's still a good if you want the revenge aspect. My other one that I have for this is it's called The Devoted Billionaire's Unstoppable Affection by Ava Selwyn, Selwyn. I don't know, Selwyn. And this is if you want the part of where they're married and he's a total asshole to her the whole time that they're married and is doing not as fucked up shit as happening in Consequences, but just like, oh, well, you're never going to leave me so I can do things. He doesn't physically abuse her, so we don't have to worry about that. That's not on the page. It's more like emotional of he's potentially running around with somebody and acknowledge those freaking for everybody who's on Facebook or Instagram Reels and you see those clips of all those shorts where the guy is off with like the best friend or the childhood best friend and people think that they're together but not and he has a wife and nobody knows that he's married. It's so cheesy. It's kind of like that, but something happens that triggers him to and there's a reason why. So it's not just because he's an asshole. There's a reason why. So I'll tell you why. So his dad has threatened him. He doesn't want he's already married her because they were like childhood sweethearts. He married her, I think, against his dad's wishes, if I remember correctly. And the dad's like, well, I don't care that you married her. You need to be this other woman because we need this alliance or whatever. And if you don't do what I tell her, I'm going to make her disappear. I'm going to kill her. Right. I'm going to make bad things happen to where you have to do what I say. So he's trying to navigate this, but he has to be cruel to her till he can stop this thing with his dad. But before he can do that, something happens and she leaves and it like devastates him. So, but it's that marriage of he's being an asshole, but again, it's book 1, he comes around and they end up back together happily. So those are my 2 for Crash. I mean, Consequences. It's horribly cheesy, like cliche cheesy. I think I'm like on book 4 in the series. It's another one of those you just go down the rabbit hole and you're like, there was enough that kept me going. But I like that angsty feel, so it gives me a lot of angst that I like. I do have 2 more.
Okay.
So, The Beast, if you liked it or didn't like it, or if you wanted more plot, which I think is essentially what we wanted was more plot. The one
More
that
anything.
yeah. The one that I want to recommend is Monster's Bride by Stasia Black. So again, it's that same kind of like retelling of Beauty and the Beast, but it's actually longer and there's more of a story plot. And I don't think he ever turns human. I think he stays the Beast the whole entire time. I can't remember.
Nice.
But it's set in like, it's like of modern, but like not modern. Because there's like, I think I remember correctly, there are some kind of powers and they're vampires. And I think there might be aliens when you get to like book 3 or 4. I can't remember. But there's also multiple brothers. And each brother, I think, is a different creature. So like the oldest brother is like the beast. And I think the youngest brother, he's the vampire. Or he marries a vampire. I can't remember. Anyways, that's my recommendation for the beast, Monster's Bride. Then the other one that I have is A Pack for Autumn. If you liked that or wanted something that, I don't know if they have about the same depth, but He's So Slick by Sinclair Kelly. It kind of has, it's an Omega verse, it's a reverse harem. It kind of has the same vibes of the female, like not really wanting to be in a relationship, but ends up in a position of where she's in heat and she needs help, but it's actually not her that's in heat. The male is also an Omega and he goes into heat and she and his best friend, I guess, end up helping him through it. So it's kind of like it is a twist. It's really cute. It's
That
really
sounds
cute.
cute.
I enjoyed it. So if you kind of like that same thing, but if you want hockey, because you're a hockey romance lover, they are hockey players, the guys, anyways. And I believe she's not. Is she the coach's daughter? I think she might be the coach's daughter. And I think her brother's on the team as well. So I can't remember. There's a whole series of it. It's really cute. I enjoyed it. So that's my recommendation for A Pack for Autumn.
Okay.
These
Anything
are
else?
no, just that check these books out. We can't always as you can see, Jen and I don't always read everything together. And so that's kind of like why we
Yeah.
do these to be like, hey, if you like this or didn't like this or want the light and fluffy from Jen or the dark and twisted for me, we have these options for you guys. And of course, we don't have enough time in the world to be able to record all the episodes about all the books. So that's it for me.
Yep. All right, y'all, let us know if you read one of these recommendations or if there is another book that you would recommend from previous seasons books that we've talked about on here. Tag us on Instagram at Bones of the Story, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for joining us on the journey into the shadows of love, where dark romance stories come to light.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Bones of the Story as much as we did. If you did, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. Your feedback means the world to us.
And to stay updated on all things dark romance, follow us on social media. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
We'd also love to hear from you. Share your thoughts, ideas, or even your own dark romance stories with us. Drop us a line at bonesofthestory@gmail.com.
Remember, our next tantalizing episode is just around the corner, so keep your hearts open and your senses sharp.
Until then, embrace the darkness and let the stories continue to stir your deepest desires.
This is Misty
And Jen,
signing off
from Bones of the Story.